Today, I get an opportunity to tell you the difference between a genuine accident, which is okay to have, after all it's not your fault, versus rash driving and negligent driving. A Pune police officer was arrested because of what looks like an accident. He was driving an auto gear car, took a U-turn, fumbled with the accelerator, instead of the brake, slammed the accelerator, ended up unfortunately killing 2 people. Now, the newspaper report and probably the police charge sheet does not reveal that he was drunk, does not reveal that he was acting in a rash and negligent manner. It looks like a genuine accident. A genuine accident is not a crime. You need to understand this very important element. Section 80 of the Indian Penal Code scrolls down now. It tells you that an accident is an accident, it's not a crime. Section 81 further says that, and here it is, nothing is an offense merely by reason of it being done with the knowledge that it is likely to cause harm. If it be done without any criminal intention to cause harm and in good faith for the purpose of preventing or avoiding other harm. I think this driver was trying to avoid harming the pedestrian. By mistake, he pressed the accelerator instead of the brake pedal. So section 81 should absolve him of this misfortune. A brother advocate representing this needs to tell the judge or the police officer who's investigating that it is an accident covered under section 80 and section 81, of which you need to have no fear. Now, let me tell you what is culpable, or rather amenable to criminal laws in India. Section 279, rash driving. Let's begin with this. If you are driving rash, and you know what is driving rash, you are liable to be sentenced to imprisonment and fine under section 279, whether or not you cause an accident. So hear this well. Under section 279, somebody spots you just driving rash. In a small lane, you're flying at 60. There is a speed breaker, you're flying over it. You are trampling puppies and kittens on the road, and people are generally running for cover when they see your car. 279 of the Indian Penal Code, you can go to jail and should go to jail. Now, if this rash driving that you do results in an accident, then it is something more serious. 304A of the Indian Penal Code deals just with this, and that shall scroll down now. There are a host of other sections that will come into play depending on the nature of injury that you have caused. 336 is one that I can remember, that will also scroll down now. Now, these are cases that have been well fought, well argued, and it's a settled principle in law. For those interested academically, in Chintaram versus State of Madhya Pradesh, it's a case law where it was held that in this case the accused was not negligent. There is a terminology called mens rea. Mens rea is a Latin phrase which means a guilty intent or not, a guilty mind or not. If the driver is able to prove that he or she did all she could to avoid the accident, you're free. Again, in K. Perumal versus State, that scrolls down now, as well as Ratlam versus Emperor. These are 2 case laws for lawyers who deal with accidents to know where the court clearly held the driver to be responsible. I close this by telling you, you have no fear if you drive properly and if it's a genuine accident. Do not drink and touch the steering wheel. You are asking for it. If you drink and drive, even if you drive safe, even if you were not negligent or rash, even if you were going slow like a cycle, if somebody comes and hits you and that somebody gets hurt, you will go to jail because you drank and drove. So when you touch alcohol, don't touch the steering wheel. Somebody please scroll this down. If you touch alcohol, don't touch the steering wheel. In fact, don't even touch the ignition. Number 2, if you don't have a license, it does not matter how carefully you drove, you are asking for it. So if you're a young child raring to steal your father's car keys and wanting to go for a spin, take a good look at what a police custody jail looks like. You cannot touch a steering wheel if you do not have a driving license. point number 2. Point number 1, no drinking and touching the steering wheel. Point number 2, no driving license, don't touch the steering wheel. If you remember this much, if you step out, it's a busy world out there, and if there is a genuine accident, section 80, section 81 shall come to your aid. If you are rash, you're driving fast, if you drank and drove, if you drove without a license, you deserve to be punished. I will conclude by saying that unfortunately there is another aspect to the whole thing. If there is an accident, you are generally required to stand your ground and help the victim. I think section 339 of the Motor Vehicles Act, or 336, the one appropriate one will scroll down now. The Motor Vehicles Act, in addition to the Indian Penal Code, tells you what to do and what not to do. But in India, it is unfortunate. If you are a good Samaritan, you have hit somebody, it's an accident, you come out and stand outside your car, there is a good likelihood you will be thrashed, you will be lynched. So here is the solution. If something happens, don't flee, because that is definitely a crime. It's called hit and run. Sit inside your car, try to help the victim, tell your name and number to the victim, take the victim to the hospital, and immediately call 100. You need to call the police first before somebody else calls, because you need the police both to protect the victim and to protect yourself. So if you're in an accident, stand there, call the police. Thank you for watching me. Subscribe.